Hello, everyone, and welcome to our weekly harvest review at Fintech Garden podcast. Today, me, Dumitru Kondrea, co-founder for Fintech Garden and founder for NovaFin, and my co-host, Igor Tomic. Hello, Igor.
Hello, Dumitru. Hello, my name is Igor Tomic, and I'm CEO of DashDevs and, as you know, co-founder of Fintech Garden. And today we are discussing curated news, which you, by the way, can find on our website, Fintech Garden. And we kind of try to see what is happening on those really hot months of the summer. But still some fascinating news are coming, and we're going to discuss it today.
First news is about embedding AI into everything around, inclusively in working environment, inclusively in the jobs. So people start to lose jobs because of AI. This can be, a name, a title for a headline for specialized media into create panics. But basically, AI helps a lot of companies to reduce some of the cost because it gives you a boost. Not every time, not everywhere. Starling Bank announces that it will cut 130 jobs because of introduction of AI into the working flows. And it's not about only support. It's about everything, about different layers of management, different layers of production, supervision. I know that it can provide a boost. The single thing what scares me if at what moment we will not control everything and we'll start to spend much more money on tokens, on AI than spending the salaries for those 130 people. Igor, what do you think about this transformation of Starling when they started to embed AI in everything in their workflows?
I will say that we were discussing tokenized economy for a while, but no one assumed that the tokens will come from LLMs, but not the blockchain. So right now, we cannot predict how it will play out for the big banks and institutions to embed AI more. Personally, from my experience, proper usage of the tools usually gives some advantage and the speed up and the quality. So I assume that it may be an experiment, but take into account that it's just 3% of their staff, which is kind of significant number, 130 employees, but it's still not like a 20, 10%, so it's not 2-digit. We will see more stuff like that because right now we see the correction. We see in total numbers, which we discussed previously on the Fintech Garden news, that investments are kind of equal or even growing compared to the previous years. But what the investors want, they would like more established business models to grow faster. And I think usage of AI is kind of given the ability to scale and deliver faster, maybe sometimes compromising the quality or understanding what you're doing. But let's see how it will play out for Starling, because fairly, they have been one of the first digital banks in UK market. And if you compare it to the numbers of performance with the Monzo and Revolut, there are something to catch up for them.
Every time when you start to hear that the company wants digital transformation or AI transformation, it means they possibly have financial issues. And this is about the Starling. Starling has a drop around, if I see the correct numbers, the pre-tax profit dropped 3% comparison with the last period. It means that company, the shareholders, they are used to receive much more money, much more income, and now they have to cut this because they need to cut some of the workforce, but at the same time to keep operations alive. This is why they just came to AI, which is a good sign because it can boost their profit and it can boost even their performance and productivity.
So let's switch for other news from London. And in this case, I'm really excited about the news about the Thought Machine, the company which is well known as banking infrastructure or core banking software. They passed more than 100 million revenue per year. And they have the unnamed tier one bank, which we assume is working with them, raises an investment like £30 million. And I think it's really good point that the need for infrastructure and that even the established banks, they see a really good opportunity in ecosystem to grow their operations and invest in those products and infrastructure. So for me, it's really good sign that if you're doing the right things and they really giving the business value, you have money, you have the growth. So that's a case which is on other side of the spectrum compared maybe to Starling.
Thought Machine just proved the fact that banking as a service, a core banking product is still in place because in a bank, or in a financial institutions, exist different streams, different management streams. You need to control a lot of things. And you just don't need an ERP or an Excel sheet. It's not sufficient. You need to be regulated in front of your investors. You need to be regulated in front of your board. You need to have to be regulated in front of your regulatory body like National Bank or Financial Authority. And for this, you need a strong ERP. And the fact that Thought Machine is still selling their products, they're still raising the money for this, proves the fact that the market is still requesting such kind of products. By the way, very good signal for those who are developing similar products. I honestly wish a good luck and success to Thought Machine for what they are doing because nobody pays attention to this. But this, such kind of a software, such kind of a tools are just not only good helper, it makes you to build the entire business and ecosystems in one single place, which is very important in today's digitalized banking industry.
I think another addition that Thought Machine grew 57% per year. It's astonishing growth because if you take a look on other infrastructure providers, it's really hard to achieve those numbers. And in 2025, by their financial reports, they turned free cash flow positive in second half of the last year, and they cut their pre-tax losses from nearly 70 million to approximately 12 million over the same period. So I think it shows that they have money, they have an understanding how to go, and really, really good niche with the proven results, which allows them to scale the business model.
The third news is about also a specific niche that not so many people are paying attention. It's about treasury. Well, specifically, it's that a global technical leader called FIS. They just were invited and contracted for Frankfurt International Bank AG, it's a new licensed German bank, to come and to build a treasury model where power its treasury and risk operations. This is a quotation directly from their press release. So basically, a new bank that appears in Germany with a full banking license in Germany, they thought like, listen, we need to build treasury because without treasury you cannot do anything. And the majority of the owners of businesses, they think the treasury just happens somewhere. It's fugazi, it's happening somewhere in the background. And the magic happens by itself, which is not. Treasury is a very important thing because without the treasury procedures, without strong rules and regulations, you will just be crashed in several months of operations. And the fact that they decided to build it from scratch without inheritance or without looking at what was some years ago, taking the best experience, it's a very good thing because their goal is to build totally new treasury tool and that will be adapted to their business model and their needs, which is a very good thing. Maybe for the majority of you, this news will pass like something like a background noise. For me, that proves that people started to pay more and more attention to this thing, to treasury, and it proves the fact that fintech is moving to reg tech.
It's not a RegTech. I would say it goes basic to the roots because in fintech, the financial processes are the main, and having the selection, the FIS shows that the cloud infrastructure can support the treasury function. And the product that has been acquired is called Quantum Cloud Edition, which means it's not going to be built as usually maybe in Germany on-premise service. It's going to be the cloud service. And combining with the treasury, I think it gives really good starting point for a newly created and launched or licensed bank in Germany. So let's see how the competition will play out with this technical and vendor selection.
Last news, but it's more like not a news, it's just confirmation. When you're a big company, huge company, even if you're launching some good big projects, it takes up to 9 months to launch it. We are speaking specifically, and you can read this on our Fintech Garden website, that Swift declares blockchain ledger ready as 17 banks prepare to pilot tokenized cross-border payments. At Sibos conferences, me and Igor, we were several months ago in autumn, we saw how Swift announced this thing. And we was like, okay, they want to do this. I think they will launch the readiness in several weeks. No, it takes 9 months. And they just now are announcing that they're ready to test it. It seems like this had a big machine like Swift. They tried to catch the train. Not sure they succeed in this.
It's a good moment to reflect because I still recall how we discussed this back in October at Sibos. So let's see. Meaning that 17 banks are ready to launch, it doesn't mean that they will do. Let's keep the news posting. Keep us updated. Please comment on our social networks, and we're looking forward to see you with the other episodes.